Alright, welcome back. So today we'll be going over how to use the playlist inside of FL Studio. So whenever you're out of the playlist, you can get back to it by clicking this button here, or get rid of it by clicking that button. Now yours won't exactly look like mine, yours would probably be a different color. This sort of black area here, we'll get to how to change that in a second. But the playlist is pretty much a bunch of tracks that can hold patterns, audio or automation clips. You can place the pattern wherever you want really. You'll place whatever pattern is selected, so if I go 3, you go there, just place something there, make a new one, So you can have whatever amount and then whatever you're on here, you'll place down here when you click. And so you can be in this paint mode by default and it'll just click here, and then you can right click to get rid of them. So up here is the playlist controls. We've got a playlist options, snap to grid, draw, paint, delete, mute, slip, slice, select, and zoom, and playback and play pause song. So play pause song is pretty much just the play button up here. You just play throughout the whole thing. Playback is, if you're on this setting, it'll play wherever you click. This zoom here will zoom to, if you've got nothing there, it'll zoom to close in on whatever snap it's on. But if you've got a pattern down, say here for example, you click on that, it'll zoom into the pattern. You can also zoom by hitting Control and the scroll wheel, or you can use these bars here to readjust the size in this box here. This select tool, you can place these down, and then once you got this, hit select and it'll choose whatever one you click. You can hit Control and Shift to select multiple, and you can also Control and Shift and then click again to deselect. And now this slice tool up here, you can get that by hitting C, but what that'll do is it'll cut up your pattern so you can do what you want with it. But if you right click it and drag, it'll cut off the end. So get another one here. If the end is it'll cut off the smaller end pretty much. So it cuts off that end, and then because we'll cut off this end here if I do it here. It just leaves the majority pretty much. So that's with the right click and drag, but with the left click and drag it just cuts it up normally. So pretty much what this slip tool does over here, it'll cut off the end of this pattern and then move it across. So you can do that manually, but with this slip tool, it just does it like that. And that's helpful when dealing with patterns like close together. So if you've got a pattern sandwich or whatever, but again, you can always just drag it down, do this, and then move it across, just a bit slower. This mute button, pretty self-explanatory, just mutes patterns. Can get this in the draw tool over here by triple clicking on right click. Over here we've got the delete as well. That's just a single right click and drag in the draw tool. Now the paint tool, whatever pattern you've got selected, so we go number 1 now. When you click, you can drag across and it keeps painting them, and they're all selected, so you can delete those at once. So that's a bit different to the draw tool where you can't just click and drag to make multiple, you have to line it up, but it's pretty much the same thing. You just click where you want it and it'll go in there. Now this snapping tool is how many lines are shown down here. So this is quarter beat, so for every beat that there is here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of those is a quarter beat. But if we go to beat, there's no lines in there and it's just going every beat. Can set it to third beat, so it's 3. Sixth beat, so it's 6. You get the idea. That's just how you change it. You can set it to main to be controlled up here, but that's about it. Set it to none for some really precise things. And now finally we've got the playlist options. So there's a lot here. We'll go to the first tab, edit. Yeah, copy paste, so whatever you got selected. It's pretty simple. Duplicate, shift left, shift right, shift up, shift down. That's for shifting the playlist view to the bottom, top, left, right. Allow resizing from the left. I'm pretty sure that's just this. Dropping audio on track header locks to content. Not too sure what that does really. I doubt I have a use for it. Mute, unmute. Of course, we get selected. It'll mute or unmute. You got insert space, slice and insert space, delete space, trim selection. Merge pattern clips, merge similar pattern clips, and merge automation clips. So we've got this. You can make a couple of those, select them all, merge pattern clips, and then it just merges into one big thing. Now tools, now you can export all of these things. If you've got a selection in the playlist, you can consolidate it, which means pretty much just render it, and then you can quick quantize the start times so that they snap to whatever you got set. So you see it shift a little bit. Now the view, you can change the grid color, invert the grid, track separators, time segments. Grid color, that's I've got a black, that's the normal. You can just change that to whatever you want. Invert grid, track separators. Keep labels on screens, content and title bars behind clips. Shadow, resize all tracks, high clips, group tracks, and then all of these things. Doesn't affect how good your track's gonna sound or anything, it's not too important. And snap's just this tool over here. Select all, select muted, invert selection, select time around selection, magic lasso. Just handy things to help select. Group, ungroup, we'll use the group tool. Group, and then you can see they're grouped together. So if you move one, they move together. And to get rid of that, obviously, ungroup. Now zoom, you can zoom in, zoom out, quick zoom 1, quick zoom 3. Just snaps to pretty much presets and stuff. Zoom out far, zoom on selection, so if you select your whole track, it'll just zoom to fit that. Time markers. So, time markers are used for when you've got a big track. Let's say you wanted your intro to end here. Just for help, really, you can add a time marker and say, we'll be the start of the verse here. And then we go add another one. So it just helps split up your track. It can help workflow maybe. And then you've got a couple other things. Time signature change. So if you're over here, let's say, and you wanted to change the time signature, you can do that. So you can go 3/4 maybe. All of that good stuff. Picker panel. This is this thing here. Enable, show on right side, width, regular, just that's sort of view stuff. Empty patterns, drag to rearrange, select unused, sort, all that sort of stuff. Current clip source, so you can change that here, here, and then in these if you've got other ones. But you can also change it here, so that it'll show all your pattern clips and your audio and automation, if you've got any of those. Now performance mode, not gonna lie, don't know the difference to be honest. Doesn't look any different to me, but I'm sure people use it. Center, so I think if you're off center, it'll just center you up. And then detached, so you can make it like that if you want, but I like it like this. Up here we've got the arrangement, so current arrangement is just arrangement. Put some things down. We can create multiple, so we'll clone this, make it arrangement 2, then change that. So if we switch between arrangements, just different songs pretty much, we can add a new one. Below that arrangement thing is the playhead. Pretty simple, you just drag it across to where you want to play with a left click, and then if you right click and drag, you can select a part to loop. It'll only play that section. Now to get rid of that, just a control and a left click and it's all gone. Click on this little button here. So this works with audio clips and automation clips as well. There will be a little icon here and you can get preview. You can select the source pattern, so you can change it to pattern 3, change it to pattern 2. You can edit the pattern in the piano roll. Rename color again, change color, make unique. So if you've got multiple and you want to, let's say we'll go here, pattern 1, and then we'll make this one unique. So this is now pattern 2. We can change that up and keep pattern 1 the same. Select all similar clips and it's got all of those. Do what you want. Delete, and then use current time signature from playlist to pattern to playlist, and you can select the region. So I think if it's shorter, get the full region there. So that is about it for the playlist. There's a lot to cover. I probably didn't get all of it, to be honest, but I did get most of the basics down. If you learned something, make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you later.